didn't know, your ass better call somebody.
You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE.
Give me a hell yeah!
Now, let's meet the host. Kyle Gagliardi.
The face that runs the place.
Jim Tucker. And Erica Marini.
I'm the boss. I'm the blueprint. I'm the standard.
Well, I think we've had enough talk. It's time for the main event.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM, Kyle Gagliardi, and one of my co-hosts is my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
What's going on, guys? It's been a minute. And the three of us, the three amigos, the three musketeers, we're back.
Really?
We are back, baby. I'm out of breath. I have a marathon in 9 days, and this is the most gassed I've been.
You're a little
very
rusty.
excited. Hands are shaking. I'm joined by Erica _0328 on Twitter, at Erica _0328 on Twitter. Erica Marini, what's up, dog?
I am so happy to be here, dog. I am happy that we're back. We are alive, and
We are well.
me and my
The
bros.
senses are tingling.
Tuck,
And Dirk
Tuck's
Bogus is in
surprised
the
Feels complete.
yeah.
we
late,
weren't anticipating Tuck to be here.
No, so this was a beautiful surprise.
Game day status was questionable. Towards closer to first pitch, we were upgraded to active. So I sacrificed my volleyball scorekeeping and let somebody else do it, so that I could be here. Yeah. So all the sacrifice
Great.
I'm making for this podcast.
Very brave.
But sometimes in your life you have to do brave things. You have to have courage, and that's exactly what we get here on the On the Mark Wrestling podcast. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
That it is, Tuck, and it's been 35 days, guys, since
Crazy.
us three have been on the podcast together. Of course, we still been pumping out shows, but there's been different iterations, special guests, Sunday shoots. We've had it all, but we are finally back together once again. And before we get into everything, we got to check out the comment section before we get to the good stuff. And
It's already popping.
the MVM will not be here. He left a comment before we went live. He said Thursday is spelled OTM. Shout out to one of the best podcasts out there. He is at work, being Steve, the current MVM. So he will have to be watching on the delay. Know that whoever wins the MVM, though, he says he will be coming.
I love a gracious loser too.
Ooh.
He knows he's giving it up and he's talking his smack, but he's gracious.
And then you have guys like Ryan Matthews, who went to dinner early with his girlfriend just so he could watch the show tonight. That's something.
Your priorities are in check.
And we're just going to click
As
through
you
the
should
comments
be.
real quick. Robbie Collins, favorite time of the week.
Love
Here
it.
we go. Episode 115. It is showtime. My mom's even here. Talk.
Hey, Donna.
Say hello to my mother, Donna Gagliardi.
Hey Donna,
Let's
great
say-
to see you.
Have a cash for Donna.
I missed you.
Erica, you're getting a compliment on your little hoodie you got over there. Ryan Matthews also's got the white one.
But Ryan Matthews
The
deserves
yellow against the
props.
white is actually nice. I hope his is cropped. That would be nice.
I can't confirm his is not cropped because he took a picture with Justin Matthews or Justin Roberts, sorry, and it was a full one.
Hey,
Dirk Bogus.
Dirk Bogus.
Hi, Mr.
And-
Bogus.
Ryan Bogus says Tuck
You
is
guys,
a
my
man.
cheeks hurt already.
Hey, I got to
Hey,
give a
someone
shout out to
else.
Ryan Bogus on the podcast as well. He donated to my fundraiser, raising money for the American Heart Association in preparation for the Chicago Marathon, October 9th. It's a week from Sunday. Tucky does Chicago round 2. We've got great weather. Tucky's feeling dangerous. The fitness is in a good place. We're shooting for a personal record. We'll see how it goes. That means I'm watching Extreme Rules in the Central Time Zone in a hotel, hopefully on the TV, not off my phone.
Awesome.
I might not be watching Extreme Rules. I'm going to St. Louis next weekend for the Cardinals playoff game, and I might be driving back around that time. I'm not sure. I got to figure out when game 2 is going to be, but My mom's not the only Gagliardi checking in. Ryan Gagliardi,
Hey,
a
Ryan.
huge wrestling fan. He won't stop talking about Extreme Rules, guys. He's actually been watching the current product.
What's going on, Ryan?
What? No, tell me. Is it next Sunday?
Next Saturday.
Oh, snap. Oh, dear. What time?
Probably
8 Eastern. 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
Cool.
Pre-show 7 Eastern, 6 Central.
Which, by the way, I won't be able to do the show next week. So are you two going to be able to do predictions?
That's a strong maybe. I know I don't have a race. I know I fly out Friday. I don't think Thursday's a home game for the volleyball team, but I do know that I can probably sacrifice my time again to a certain someone who enjoys doing it also. So strong possibility. Yeah.
That's
if Erica or you, if Erica's available, yeah.
My Thursdays are open.
Yeah,
Am I able to do predictions? It's a double-headed.
She'll get to the beginning of the show and be like,
I can record, but am I able
I hear
to do
you're mentioning a match and you just said who you thought would win. Are we picking?
Are we doing predictions?
Are we picking now?
Is it happening? Is it happening?
Can I go last?
There'll only be
All
2 of you.
steps. A lot of stipulations. It's going to be wild. Maybe. How do you know it's just going to be the 2 of us?
Ooh, and hey, Ryan Matthews says he knows a guy that's off on Thursdays too. And I know he's got a podcast, the Pigskin Project, as you see in his name in the comments, that is a part of the Overtime Sports Network. You see the logo behind me. We are a part of OTSN. Don't you forget about that. And you saw the hoodie that Erica is wearing. You can go get yourself one at the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com. And I think we're going to try to maybe come up with a new shirt idea. Erica texted me last night. I was at trivia. I wasn't watching AEW live, but she threw out this word, and I didn't understand it until I watched Dynamite. But Erica, do you want to elaborate on this word you came up with for Chris Jericho?
Well, it just came to me as often my creative genius does. They're talking like Ocho, this and that, and I just immediately my brain went to Jericho. And I was like, that's gonna be a thing. It doesn't sound good coming out of the mouth, but like on paper, maybe a dash in there somewhere. It's something. And it
on a t-shirt, you mean, on the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com?
Yes. It's a workshopping it.
Yeah. Or it could be Jera Ocho. You don't even have to have that. Yeah.
Jericho. Yeah.
We'll just throw out ideas there in the comments. If you like that shirt idea, we might put it on there. But we still have the Brian Danielson appreciation.
Jericho.
Yeah. That's something.
Because you just spelled Jericho and then you add the HCO to it? Jericho.
Yeah. And I guarantee he will come up with that, or there will be a sign next week, or he will somehow market that.
Well, if that's the case, shouldn't we get some royalties from it since
I will write a letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as we get a good chunk of it and we're making money off of it, I'm cool with it. AEW can sell it. We don't have to do the hard work at creating it, you know?
No, just give me the money.
So here we are. We're about 8 minutes in. Let's talk about some wrestling here, guys. And like Tuck always says, it is a great time to be a wrestling fan. Let's go to the WWE side of things to start off this episode. Erica and I touched on some of the White Rabbit clues that we got a couple weeks ago, but of course, we got some more. They continue to emerge on this week's Monday Night Raw with more QR codes showing up, which led to a specific video on TikTok that had like multiple clips put together, some from ECW, some had John Cena in it, Edge, and of course they had the phrase, "Who killed the world?" followed by "Feed your head." And at the end of it, guys, we saw those 5 numbers, 40701. So I decided I was going to put on my investigating hat, and I typed it into Google, which led us to Corbin, Kentucky, which apparently also has a White Rabbit Records and a Wyndham Hotel there. So it seems as if all signs are pointing to Bray. And Erica, we talked about it a little bit last week, but Tuck, I didn't really get your opinion on these all the White Rabbit clues that we are getting. So what's the vibe you're getting from all these QR codes?
The last opponent that Bray Wyatt faced before turning to the Fiend was Baron Corbin as well. And there was a show in Corbin, a house show in Corbin, Kentucky that Bray Wyatt was also featured on too. So
I didn't know that.
You know,
wait, say that part again.
Weird. There was like a house show in Corbin, Kentucky that WWE is at, and there's a Bray Wyatt tie to that as well. Mm-hmm.
Oh, whoa! Did you just what was that? Did you see the background? Did you see the background?
No.
Erica, did you see that?
I saw something flash, but I didn't see what it was.
Very weird.
I'm freaked.
But obviously, Erica, with these new QR codes, we speculated like who it could be, but I think we are pretty sure now it's probably Bray Wyatt.
Just the Corbin. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm like, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Also, like what Voga said, I mean, between this and the Bloodline, this is the best thing like going right now. It's so fun, and like, there's nothing confirming all of these codes besides everyone on Twitter just like piecing it together. And I just love that.
Well, that's the thing I was going to bring up, guys, is like they really don't have to do much work. Sure, they're putting out these codes, but you let everybody else just talk about it, and it's trending on Twitter. It's on TikTok. They're leading you to different social media accounts. Like, it's insane.
We were all waiting on September 23rd thinking it was going to be something. And then we're like, okay, like 9:23 p.m. Like, not even that. And that was just like the next clue. Like, we are all like chomping at the bit to figure this out. I don't know.
And they're still doing like the White Rabbit song in between commercial breaks at the live arenas. So that's a nice little touch too. But a lot of people are assuming that it's going to be this appearance of the White Rabbit character is going to be at Extreme Rules. There's not like a for sure thing if there's going to be physically there. It might just be like another video package on the Jumbotron. But man, this has got so much buzz right now. And like Voga said, it might be the biggest thing in wrestling alongside Sami Zayn.
Yeah, well, and the addition of the ECW clips in that Extreme Championship Wrestling,
Philadelphia.
There's a layer to Extreme Rules, so there's that to it. But isn't it just fun, right? Like we're getting good matches, we're getting good storylines. Me caring about Sami Zayn, like in this context, is fun. Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. AEW. Yeah, AEW is doing a good job too. They're just sorting through a little bit more stuff, but like trying to do this in the early 2000s wouldn't be nearly as effective without the phones and what we have it. So I think they're actually leveraging the internet and social media in a way that's more encouraging. It's a less toxic wrestling community now because a lot of people are coming together to try to figure it out.
Yep.
It's just fun.
It's genius.
Yeah.
It's a genius marketing idea, and everybody's fully invested into it. And they're throwing out other names too, but Ryan Matthews is saying it. I'm definitely thinking it's Bray without the Fiend character, whoever it is. I love the buildup. It's such a cool character, no matter who it is. Absolutely. And he also said if Corbin Kentucky is a nod at Baron Corbin getting a character change, though, it's underwhelming, but thank God, because I hate the Happy Corbin gimmick. Yeah, we're at that point, though. If it's not Bray Wyatt, a lot of people are going to be disappointed. And we saw a lot of people speculating.
Baron Corbin comes down the ramp in a Easter bunny costume.
Oh, hopping down the ramp.
It's Adam Rose's bunny. That's who
is.
Is
that Bunny Corbin? I'd cry a little first, and then
I think I would turn my TV off and then take a lap and then come back.
Recollect yourself after that.
Yeah.
We're all just like,
maybe wait till the end to think like we're getting pumped, right? And like or like
a double troll would kind of be fun though. Corbin shots out first, and then an hour and a half into the show when we're still kind of pissed, Bray Wyatt actually shows up, and we're
that would be delicious.
That's not bad. Yeah,
not a terrible idea. I mean, I saw the thing too where if you like decode the video that they sent out, it has the lyrics to Aleister Black's old theme. Tuck, did you get anything from Fightful of confirming that, or is that fake news?
No, the update on Aleister Black was like he wasn't released from AEW. He's taking time off. So the indication from All Out, like as he was like looking at the fans, it's because he knew he wasn't going to be back for a while.
Yeah.
Not necessarily never with the company again. So that's about it.
But what if this is a different layer to the White Rabbit? What if it's not just Bray Wyatt? What if there's multiple people? What if Aleister Black is coming back to WWE in a way? Because like I forgot what the exact lyrics were that they decoded, but like if you
no man is ever truly good.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. And I was like, that had to be intentional, right? Like that's not just accidental.
It's bold is what it is. Because it's blatant and he's not with the company anymore. And we all know exactly who that points to. And that was obviously somebody that like nobody thought, because up until recently, there was, no rumblings of anything. So I don't know. I like the idea. I know everybody's been saying it, but I like the idea, of like having it be Cross and Scarlett.
Yeah.
And I already forget.
Dexter Lumis, Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Oh, Dexter Lumis with like the forehead petting of the Miz the other night. I
love it. We have to like chokes him out.
That's skin crawly a little bit.
Love.
Oh no, Ryan Matthews. Let's not compare it to the hacker gimmick with Retribution. That did not work out as we saw. It wasn't bad. It was intriguing. I think that's what he's kind of getting at, that they're both very interesting.
I do have a tidbit from Fightful that does point to Bray Wyatt without Fightful saying it is Bray Wyatt. The QR code was a thing that they tried without realizing it was going to be as wildly successful as it has been. And they've also, WWE Creative has been largely hands off in the rollout of the White Rabbit, meaning the one representing the White Rabbit has had much more say. And that was a big sticking point with Bray Wyatt and the Fiend character and the directions that it went. The issues was because Bray Wyatt was kind of being handcuffed with what he wanted to do. So in saying that creative is being more hands off with this, and there's stuff happening every show, right? So someone's not being hands off with it, but creative, the people in charge of creating things have been hands off with it, giving more leeway to the talent, whoever that may be.
Interesting.
Man, I'm excited. I need more of it. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get some tomorrow night on SmackDown. You still have a Monday Night Raw and another SmackDown that you could, sprinkle in some more QR codes. It's just the creative genius of Bray Wyatt. If this is all him, I mean, this guy's incredible. He's had probably 5 different characters while being in the WWE, and this is definitely going to probably be something different. So, man, I mean, just the buzz around the White Rabbit gimmick right now is top tier stuff in wrestling. So I definitely felt like we had to touch on that to start off the show, because that was one of the biggest things that came out of Monday Night Raw, alongside the return of Candice LeRae, which was very surprising because it was eerily similar to the way they debuted her husband, Johnny, because it happened in Canada after a commercial break. And then we just randomly hear the music. And I kind of had that same reaction. I was like, wait, that's Candice LeRae's music. And I'm like, what is she doing here? Oh my God, it's Candice LeRae. And I was like, this is a pleasant surprise. Once again, and nobody really saw it coming. Erica, I see a lot of backlash about this though, because the crowd reaction wasn't great, which is understandable because not a lot of people pay attention to NXT. They're critiquing it. Maybe you should have done some video packages or something like that. But what were your overall thoughts on the way they brought Candice LeRae back?
I think I always feel bad, like when the crowd doesn't respond the way that you hope that they would. I think that she'll prove herself, and I've seen a lot of defense on her too as well, like on Twitter, people saying all right, you don't know Candice, and they post the picture of her, or they post the picture of her getting that I forget whatever, the Cedric Alexander the lariat something, where he just blasts her as a backbreaker essentially.
Oh, in the Indies when they were on the Indies.
Yes, right? Or with her and Joey Ryan, and her face is just blood. So I think she will earn the respect of those that did not watch NXT when she was a part of it. And I also like that they immediately brought her back to the Bianca, Alexa, Asuka faction. If that's going to be a War Games or whatever it's going to be, I like her immediately linking up with them, because that kind of gives people a sense of the character that she's aiming to be at this moment.
Bogus, also a good question. Can we talk about her opponent being the Hamburglar?
I also heard unpaid on Fightful, just Sean Ross stopped tweeting, that internally the talent was told that it was going to be Doudrop versus Nikki Cross to keep it ultra secret. So literally nobody knew that it was going to be Candice LeRae besides Johnny and probably 5 other people. So I love it.
Just figuring out ways to get around these dirt sheets. I love it.
It's awesome.
It's good stuff. Tuck, what do you think about Candice LeRae's return?
The Hamburglar. Jesus, Bogus. How funny. I think they quoted it best on the Masked Man show when they said the crowd goes mild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did not. Mine was 8.5. when the Poison Pixie popped up before Candice, like the name, as I raised my eyes, there was the minute of non-instant recognition. So I'm excited to see her though. I think they were hoping for a little bit more. She might have benefited from vignettes, like a package in a debut, a little bit more of a calculated debut. But as a wrestler, isn't that the entrance you want? The surprise, even if you're not a super, like that feeling, like if you were given the choice, would you want vignettes over a month leading to a debut or the random one? I don't know if
I think it all depends on your character.
Yeah. Well, and the complexities of the character. Yeah, because they rolled out. I think they rolled out Kane over weeks.
Yeah,
right? They didn't have social media and things like that, so it's a different time. But I might have been too close to Johnny's return to and amongst the White Rabbit stuff. Like, I think a lot of us are just horny for the White Rabbit stuff, so it's hard to give more like real estate in our brain to like other debuts and stuff too.
And maybe she just wanted to come back, and she didn't really give a crap about like the pomp and circumstance. Like she was able to come back. She's happy that she could come back, and
she looked incredible.
Missed it. She really did, and she came, and now she's here, and she's probably going to be involved in the War Games and Survivor Series, and then it makes you think that now we're just getting one step closer to having a main roster of the way.
Yeah. We're one piece away. Indy Hartwell, all she has to do is make her.
And I'm sure she will, because
maybe they'll space out another 2 weeks, because I think this was 2 or 3 weeks after Johnny debuted.
And they'll put the two of them together, because Indy will get over in a second. Because
she's so charismatic. Everything she did in NXT was fantastic.
And she's funny,
I mean, Candice LeRae by no means was like a star in NXT, but she's just one of those consistent hands that, she's always going to put on a good match. She played a great role in the way. She can work heel. She can work babyface. She mixes well with other styles. And it doesn't hurt to add her to a Raw women's division that just keeps getting better.
Nope. And she was like a big part backstage too, like in the locker room. She was like, I think a lot of the women said like she was like the mother figure, like to all of them, just because she was so seasoned. So I don't know. I like it. Brings a new air.
Bogus said Bray Wyatt's family initial WWE run vignettes were incredible. They are great for debuts when done well. Yeah, that's the key part, is when done well. And sometimes
and that one, rolling out the Bray Wyatt family, there's some complexities there. There's a story to dole out. I don't know how much there is to say about actually Candice LeRae at the moment, in regards to substance, story, complexities, things like that too. So
just let her work.
And like I said, that was that city. She could come next week to a city that's got a lot of people that know who she is and watch Tuesday. NXT and get a huge pop. Hey,
she could come Tuesday.
Oh my God. What's next?
Well, speaking of the Garganos, we go from Mrs. Wrestling to Johnny Wrestling. I've seen a few critiques. I'm not going to sit here and act like my whole timeline is flooded with these takes, but some people are kind of annoyed. Maybe there's a different word that could be used there, a little bit confused on how Johnny's been used so far on the main roster. For me personally, I think this is probably the best way to do it. Pair him with a likable guy, a well-known guy like Kevin Owens, and you gradually introduce him to the main roster crowd, the mainstream wrestling fans that didn't really know Johnny. Tuck, you were an NXT guy. We talked about NXT for years, going head-to-head with AEW, and Johnny was a big part of it. Do you like the way he's been, used on Monday Night Raw so far?
Well, he debuted in the middle of a run-up to a premium live event that is shaping up to be pretty packed, right, with stipulations and good matches. So I think they're utilizing him pretty well, not unbelievably. But where are you going to put him when a lot of these feuds have been established and are being ridden to Extreme Rules? It made sense for him to go with KO in Canada to put him right next to the biggest rub of the night almost, right? So I think they've done a good job. I haven't been offended by it. I think we're just a little bit of a holding pattern for him until Extreme Rules.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they started him off with the Austin Theory thing, and I think the fans just are so anti-there. I liked it, but I think a lot of it is like if you come into it not knowing who they were in NXT or prior to the main roster, you're going to be like, who is this guy? Which brings me to the point of somebody said WWE fans have like all the time and technology and brains to like put together these QR codes and like what this means, but like they can't take the time to Google who like a wrestler is that they don't know, or like check out some of their matches before hopping on Twitter to complain and talk shit. So that kind of stuck out to me. I don't know. I agree with putting him with somebody like Kevin Owens, especially someone that he has history with. And it's just ultimately two likable guys, and Kevin Owens that's probably about to have like a face turn, the face turn of a century. I don't know. I'm hopeful. It's still new. We got a ways to go.
Yeah.
And it's just it's FaceTime. It's having him be out there, putting him out there. You know who he is. You know, okay, he's with Kevin Owens, and we're supposed to like this guy, and he'll prove himself in the ring. He'll prove himself character-wise. So I'm optimistic.
Yeah, it's probably like what you're saying, the people that don't really know him that are kind of just confused with him right now. But once you get to know him, see him in ring, I mean, he's one of the best pure white meat baby faces they've had in the company over the last few years. Like Ryan Matthews said, let him build him up and then give him a run at the title. And I think the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title would definitely be great, because Vogus is saying him versus Walter for the IC title would be great, which it would be. And that style's clashing right there.
You got the big guy in Walter, who's Johnny can take some chops. And
Gunther, let's not let Bogus change our thing. It's
Gunther. You're right. What is the pose? Is it?
It's right behind the back.
Yeah. Gunther.
How we do?
Respect. We will not acknowledge him because we acknowledge one, but we will.
The artist formerly known as Walter.
Yeah, he signed the 8x10 I have him signed is Walter. So
that's who he be.
That would be a good match, though. I would be excited to see that. One more comment here before we shift on some topics. We got the Mayor Can in the house. He's saying, I'm hoping it ends up for a KO Gargano match against Ciampa and The Miz, which allows for a lot of directions. Erica, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. That's a good call.
Yeah, and then wait, he repeated himself. Never mind. Sorry.
Is there an echo?
The comment's so nice. He sent it twice.
Ryan Matthews said if they're able to successfully split the titles again, he's got the charisma to have a great reign on Raw. I agree. I think he could be a world champion. No, not yet, but eventually.
Certain things have to happen, but I think he would be the one. And to touch on what Mayor said, like I trust that they do it well. I'm hoping that they do it well, and that there's going to come a day where the casual fans give a shit about the Ciampa Gargano history and have them either team up again or have them either battle again, but something between the two of them. So I like that idea.
When that does happen, that's going to be phenomenal. But yeah, eventually, they're definitely going to take some time before they revisit the Ciampa and Gargano stuff. But hell, I'll even take DIY.
There's just so much to come.
Yeah, or come Tuesday, right?
On Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently high schoolers love that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you want to tell that story? Did we ever say that on the podcast?
The podcast earned a few more fans. It sounds like they're very active on Twitter. And appreciate a specific tweet that Kyle sends out every Tuesday. No further comments.
If you follow us on Twitter, you know what that tweet is every single Tuesday. I haven't missed one since NXT 2.0 started.
I thought Tuck got fired for it.
They chose for the does anyone have any questions? Any more questions before we like go into like the work time for you to get going on your work kind of stuff? Anyone have other questions? What does this mean?
Oh,
and I was like,
that was an
oh wait, so it's a true story, that part?
No, yeah, I explained to the class. Everyone in that class knows about the podcast now. They know what days they may be watching. They might run it back. I'm not sure.
Extra credit if they tune in.
I will not give extra. Their grade doesn't go up because they are a fan. They've got to earn the grade. Okay.
Subscribe.
We're talking general English 1 and English 2 here. We're shooting for 60%. Here, let's get some credits.
That shouldn't be that hard. Come on, guys. You can do it. Mr. Tucker's one of the best teachers out there. He came all the way over to the West Coast for you.
Indiana State Teacher of the Year. People forget. with every other
I was going to
teacher
say,
in the
didn't
state.
every teacher in the state? Yeah.
Hey,
Semantics. We'll move on. That never happened.
it's still
Let's move on here.
resume.
Okay, that's good. I would have it on mine too. I don't blame you.
Same.
Just hoping
Erica-
I have it like tatted on my chest.
teacher of the year.
No regrets.
Right. Put
That'd be
teacher of the
very
year and
fitting
then
for you.
spell it wrong. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Be very fitting for you. Erica, I want to briefly discuss this. We kind of mentioned it at the beginning. Me and Tuck kind of talked about it on the Sunday shoot, but we got to see Sami Zayn in action. He beat AJ Styles on Raw. He got his honorary Oos t-shirt and everything. How you feeling about Sami Zayn right now? Because that segment on SmackDown was fantastic.
It was fantastic. I bookmarked it on Twitter. I watched it, I think, every time it came across my timeline. I love it. And I think between Sami and KO, I just always, when they kind of like fall into those lulls, they deserve more. And this for Sami, like, there might be other people that could fill his shoes right now in this role, but like no one could do this like Sami Zayn. Nobody could. He's got the whole crowd behind him. Even when he pulled the shirt out that said honorary Oos, like the crowd couldn't see it at very first, but they just erupted like, and it's that whole, it was beautiful. I loved it. And I don't want it to end. I mean, I can kind of gauge the direction that it perhaps is going in. And if it happens, that's great. But I just like, I'm insatiable for like Sami with I love what he's doing on social media with Rikishi and the Photoshop and the pops and this and that. Like, I'm here.
Did you see that picture of them growing up when Sami was with them? That was fantastic.
When it's like all of them,
it's like the kid version and Sami photoshopped his head.
Yes. And then like Rikishi posted something about like 4 whatever, or 3 whatevers, and he's like, I think you mean 4 pops, like something. And he's just so, I love how he makes like Jimmy laugh like during all of it. He even had like Roman break during like that whole thing. I love it. I love the J angle of it. There's just so many jangle. Like little the jangle, if you will. All the little like nuances to it. They're just doing this one like perfectly.
And to your point, hold on. To Erica's point, you mentioned that it probably inevitably will be over, but let's not be sad when it is over. Let's be happy that we had the moments we had.
Smile that it happened. You're right. You have to enjoy. It's like when Andy Bernard said, I wish there was a way to know that these were the good times when you were in them, or whatever he says. I think about that all the time. And just makes you, are you frozen?
No,
he looks frozen.
Oh, wow. Wow. That was like that strenuous thing, like make them think it's a picture.
I bet you the whole chat thought I was frozen there.
Because it was a little like when you get frozen, it's half the time it's in the movement. So like the pixels are a little blurry. It was like, it felt like it would, you see, wow.
It's because I rose my hand when I wanted to ask the question, but can I ask the question now?
Yes.
Mr.
Not really a question, actually. Hear me out.
The thought.
I now believe Sami Zayn should be the one to defeat Roman Reigns. I'm not taking it back. I'm not taking that take back. How do you feel about that?
I think you can have that take. I will not take.
You like it?
That take. Nope.
I'd like to hear a little bit of just an ounce of your reasoning. Can you show your work?
Sami's
I'll
more
get there eventually.
befitting of the like getting solo with the IC title or something and making a run off of that, and maybe trying to build his own stable with KO going after Roman or something like that.
What if Sami cost Roman the title?
That makes a little bit more sense. I want to
take more of that.
I'm on
than the other
fire.
Yeah.
It's Sami cost them. Maybe they get a traditional.
What do you say?
It's not a full hoodie. Good thing you have a crop top on. It's not a full hoodie. You get a draft.
I got a fan on me too right now. So
yeah.
This is how we do it, Erica. Sami cost the Bloodline either the War Games match or the traditional Survivor Series match that they're probably going to do, and then Sami ultimately cost Roman Reigns the title.
And he gets booted.
Do you? Doesn't Raw make you think that maybe the Bloodline's not going to be in that War Games match with how strong they're doing Judgment Day?
I think
the guys in the Judgment Day with their individual feuds. Yep. You've got AJ Styles. You've got Riddle, right? Riddle's getting into
Riddle's kind of involved. Seth.
They're like each,
but aren't they
getting
all
into their own?
Isn't it always like
guys.
Raw versus SmackDown?
Ray.
That concept, I think, has been kind of pushed aside, right? Isn't that
so?
what
It's like Raw versus Raw, SmackDown versus SmackDown.
It could just be anything.
They're not concerned about brands at Survivor Series this year. The War Games matches are who's the survivor. I think is the element that they're playing on. They're not concerned about. They're not. I'm sorry, I was reading a comment. They're not concerned about doing brand versus brand.
Tuck not singing "This Is How We Do It" when Gags just said that makes me sad. Don't lose your fastball. I'm a little overtrained here for the marathon. It's been a minute. I'm a little rusty.
He's easing back into it, Ryan.
I don't get any credit for the jangle. That was kind of funny.
That was.
I'm
funny.
still here. I'm picking my spots right now.
Yeah. Okay. You got to ease into it. You can't come back friggin' blasting off. You got.
And I, for the record, I do know that Vogus is saying that comment out of care and criticism. Great friend. Okay, that's where I'm at with that.
You know what, Tuck? That makes you a great friend to recognize that. So, great friend.
Love is in the air. Love is in the air.
Thank you. I feel better.
Ryan Matthews, and I believe he's talking about Sami Zayn, says he needs to be
stronger
just kidding. Than he has been. His character is definitely the left-out jobber of WWE right now.
It was the timing.
Yeah,
and this is a true statement. He said the great Kyle Gagliardi had to teach me that negative publicity on Twitter is still publicity. You're getting clicks, you're getting interaction, people are seeing your profile, it works.
Just for context, the capital G puts you on God mode, by the way. Capitalizing the adjective is strong.
Yeah, so this guy's in college too, isn't he?
But Ryan does need to clarify whether he was talking about Sami Zayn or me, because it depends on how much smoke he's getting. If it says me, he will not be the MVM, no matter how the rest of this podcast.
Erica believed it was about you.
Huh?
Nothing.
Or am I just?
No, she, as a good friend, she's covering my sixth.
Yeah.
She's got my back.
Yeah. Might it be?
Big English t-shirt guy here.
That's it. Right Hug now. It out.
So let's dive into these WWE news topics. We can breeze through them because I have a few things from Dynamite I want to talk about. Apparently, some stars are headed back to NXT. One that we do know that is already on his way to NXT is Veer. He was given months of video packages for his debut on Monday Night Raw, and now they're bringing him back to where he started in NXT. He was partners with Sangha, and apparently they paired up, and he worked under a new name. It probably was his old name. I'm not 100%. At an NXT house show. Guys, this doesn't really surprise me because I think we all could agree that this was a Vince McMahon project, not a Triple H one.
Well, and it wasn't necessarily bad, but with the direction that Triple H is taking it, let Veer go down to NXT and become a monster, right? Let him go down there and do work and be kind of work for Mandy Rose, right? It has been, we have seen it improve other people's stock, and with the transition back to that black and gold type branding with NXT, I don't think it's stupid. He probably prefers it. It's like the kid that is on varsity but never plays would most times want to go down to JV to play all the time
and be a rock star. Yeah.
Hone your craft down there.
I think, and I think he was, I hate to say disappointment because that's so rude, but like the hype for him was so effing long, and then he showed up and it was just like him choking out Dominic Mysterio like week after week. Like that's Dominic, I get it.
Like, God, I wish this was Rhea Ripley.
God, and he got his wish.
Hey, I just think it was just game.
Oh man.
What? You say he was
and now he'll get there on Tuesdays.
That's a great point, Doc. What's that situation? What's he talking about here in the comments?
I don't know.
Oh, because when you said he needs to build up his character stronger than he has been, I said, who's he talking about? And then I pretended like you were talking about.
Oh, I missed that one. But Veer's not the only name that I saw. These weren't confirmed. And Tuck, you can correct me because you are a Fightful subscriber. I saw that there's a possibility that like an R-Truth, Tamina, and Dana Brooke could be rumored to be going back down. I shouldn't say going back, but going to NXT, which is the R-Truth one's kind of weird to me. But then again, we haven't really seen any of them on TV, and the 24/7 title is just gone.
Do you think it's, not to interject, do you think it's in the same vein that like Natalia came down and Finn came down and AJ came down. Like, do you think it's like one of those? Or like, I go here now. I cannot see R-Truth. I cannot see R-Truth. I took a breath to try to like maybe.
What if he's the GM? What if he's the GM of NXT? That'd be hilarious.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
Oh
and
my God,
fantastic.
they just got away from the horny brand. No,
R-Truth's not horny. How is R-Truth horny?
I know, but horny, gimmicky, like it would be funny, but like I don't need R-Truth yelling war games. Like I'm out.
It's war games.
No, he would say Royal Rumble, and it would be war games.
Yeah, you're right.
It's Rumble games.
Yeah.
The R-Truth thing would be very weird, and obviously these aren't confirmed. It's just speculation at this point, but we do know that Veer is going down to NXT, so don't be surprised if you see more people going back down there. And it's just another sign of the new direction with Triple H taking over on the main roster. A couple more things, and then we can get to AEW, though. We have some changes apparently in the works for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. It seems like Triple H, once again, just taking matters into his own hands. I kind of want to see a new setup. I don't know about you guys. Like a different screen, just a whole different vibe when it comes to Raw and SmackDown.
Like a facelift or like a makeover or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me one thing you would add, Erica. They're like, Erica, what do you want?
Physically?
Yeah, what do you want?
Sometimes I feel like there's too many lights. Like it's very like
a fair take.
If you're sitting in the second deck, you're getting the smoke for sure.
You know, I just it's too, I don't know the word, like cinematic or like showboaty or something.
Overproduced.
But like yes, like take it back to like the basics and tone it down a bit.
Tuck, what's one change you would do if they asked you?
Dude, it's kind of
shirts versus skins every match.
That's it.
What?
I don't know.
Isn't it kind of hard to beat a big ass screen though? Because you can put anything on the screen. Like, do they need to bring the SmackDown hand back?
Give me the fist.
Give me the fist. It's a fist.
Give me the fist, Tuck.
Don't call it a hand.
Yeah,
it's a hand. You need a hand to make a fist. To be clear, you can't have a fist without a hand. But wouldn't they just do a digital package of the fist being animated then instead of just the really big fist?
Or like even like the entrance, like something to like.
Yeah, because it's just kind of open. The entrance stage, like add something. Don't add that stupid just WWE that they had logo on the side for like the 2010s, but just something
they upgraded with the jumbotrons around the barricade though. That was cool. I did like
Erica though. It feels overproduced.
I like
bring
how
it back
AEW
to the Thunderdome.
Road.
Okay, too far.
All right, just kidding. Say that again, Tuck. I was being a jerk.
I do like the AEW ramp that they did at Arthur Ashe with like the road and the cars. That was kind of fun.
That was fun. And I also like when it goes right into the ring and there's no like floor there, just like
Daniel Bryan doesn't
he doesn't?
No, he got his foot caught in it.
Oh, you're right. Remember? He did. Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna consider my take.
But yeah, changes are coming, apparently. Some on Tuesday, some on Monday, and some
I was
on
trying
Friday.
to come up with something there, but I couldn't.
That's all right. I just do it on the fly. So last thing, I shared this in our group chat. I don't have a graphic or anything for it, but it is via WrestleVotes, and it's that there are significant plans lined up for Finn Balor in the near future. He is a strong favorite of the new leadership of the WWE. Tuck, how do we feel about Finn Balor potentially getting shot back up into the main event scene?
I'm here for it. It feels like this creative isn't making up their mind on people, too early. I think the Finn stuff, I think they just made up their mind that he is who he is and his run was going to look a certain type of way. But now I think they're going to give him a shot, and I think he's going to take it. I like Finn Balor a lot.
Is Mike bringing you a drink?
How did you know?
Because I can hear him.
The door sounds. I brought
looking over
look like you were like a little puppy. Was there a glow coming from the doorway as he brought you the beverage or something?
Was it the white rabbit?
It was a white rabbit.
Is Mike the white rabbit?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Erica, you're a big Finn gal, aren't you? I remember you got a picture with Finn. You used to have a cutout of Finn, right?
Not used to. I still do.
Oh, okay. So how we feel about this potential Finn Balor push?
I love it because I think he's getting the respect that he deserves. I think that character-wise, sometimes he's
Needs work.
makes me cringe a little bit, but like he's getting there. I think this Judgment Day is like a new angle for him, like a new layer, I should say. And I think that once Roman is finally not champion anymore, I think it just makes a pool of so many new guys to have the opportunity because we don't know who's next.
Yeah.
And unless it's somebody like a big like Brock Lesnar type, which is, not going to be whomever it is, like it just opens the door to have your Kevin Owens, your Sami Zayn, your Finn Balor's, even your AJ Styles, your Seth Rollins. Not that they couldn't have been champion before, but they were not going to touch Roman. So I like the fact that Finn's name is now being thrown in the hat, and exactly for what Vogus just said. He was the first ever Universal Champion. I don't know how he would have been booked from there or how life would have gone for him.
That was injury related, right?
It was.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins injured him, I believe. And if Finn is getting a push, please bring back the Demon because that entrance. God. Everything about it.
I wanted to go to the Raw. When was it? I wanted to go to, what's he on, SmackDown? Raw. I wanted to go to the Raw, and it was literally like 2 weeks before he stopped doing the arms. And I was like, well, not so much I want to go anymore.
Pain.
Yeah.
All right. So one last comment here from Ryan Matthews, and then we'll move on. I actually agree with him on this. He says, I missed the normal aprons, not going to lie, back when Nickelback had the opening theme.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I first started watching wrestling. So the Nickelback theme resonates with me for Monday Night Raw. The themes nowadays don't hit like that.
No, but I did
going out tonight.
Yeah, I did like when it was, I think it's the same guy. To me, he sounds like Eminem, not to be racist. He's just like a white rapper, but he does. Well, I got my white rappers confused.
Logic?
No, it wasn't Logic.
This Logic did not do a Raw. What theme
I forget the guy's name. I like another song that he has too, but
Tonight is the
I
Night?
liked it.
Was
Maybe like the one previously, and I was like, okay, like Raw's coming back, like they got this new attitude, and there's nothing wrong with this song, but I just think like we would all love it if you brought back like a NF. There you go. Like we'd all love it if you brought back like an old school theme, like for Why the Fuck Not?
Hey, maybe that's part of the changes. They have a new intro, new theme song. We'll find out though. But that's all we got for the WWE side of things. We're gonna finish off the show with some AEW Dynamite talk. But of course, we gotta hear what the people are saying about the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.
What's everybody saying about the On the Mark podcast?
It's just insane, and I love it.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
Unlike any other.
It's a great show.
We'll be right back after a brief intermission.
I was hoping you were going to be punching the screen.
Me or Tuck?
Tuck. Because he usually does that. Tuck, did you watch back or listen back to when me and Erica did the show? Because I did do it.
I listened. I didn't. Yeah.
So you weren't able to see. That was a nod to you, Ryan Matthews. Remember Main Event on Ion TV? I do. How about, hey, here's a throwback for you. Saturday Morning Slam, the revamped version, not the old stuff. They used to have like Daniel Bryan was on like the first episode of Saturday Morning Slam. It was like a 1 hour show. And I think it lasted a couple months. I would not love one of those old lame-ass rock themes. Trash.
Speak for yourself.
Ryan Vogus with an opinion on that.
Are you ready?
That's a good one.
Are you ready for? I do the same stupid dance to that song every week.
Was it that what you were just doing?
I sing it to my mom's dog, and I tap my foot to the first part. And then I do the horns the next part. Yeah. She's deaf and she does not hear me. So hi, Elias.
Your mom?
I was gonna say, is this our old friend right here?
It is. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for coming.
Nice to see you, Elias.
Yes.
He was around back in the day when we were on another podcast, and here he is tuning in to the On the Mark Wrestling podcast, the self-proclaimed best podcast on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Central.
I had a fun spot in class the other day. We were talking about characters in the Odyssey, and
Oh.
a kid was asking about a character, and he was like, It started with an E. I was like, Ezekiel, Elias, Elrod, and nobody got it.
Not a
Crickets.
I took the L, so that was L Tuck, but that was funny.
Hey.
Okay, continue.
Also, for a split second, you said Odyssey, and I got very excited because I thought you said oddities, and I was like, "Ooh, who was it? Luna?
Nope.
No.
Luna.
At least that registered.
Now I can't think of any. Oh my god! Don't even tell me a single one.
Do you want to keep guessing, or are you done?
No, I can. I'm just drinking wine.
Okay. What kind of wine?
I'll spurt them out.
What kind of
Today
wine?
is Phantom because it's spooky season.
Oh, Bogle
Yes.
Phantom. Yeah.
And
Drink
like,
it
there's
up.
no paper label. And that kind of like freaked me out because I was like, this bottle is weird. Yeah. I'm trying to get all like spooky wines. Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And I got another bottle of Diablo.
Drink yourself some Bogle Phantom. It's spooky season.
Golga.
What was that?
Kurgan.
Okay, now you're
I'm naming oddities.
Okay. All right.
What?
I don't even know what those are. What are those? Am I stupid?
Members of the oddities.
I don't know what that
You're
is.
too young.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're too young.
You don't know either. You don't know what she's talking about.
Google the oddities. WWF.
Oh,
you'll get it.
They went.
They
had.
I started watching in 2011, so.
Wow, that's a shame.
Missed the boat on that one, but I started watching AEW in about 2018. What? Italian?
You said you missed the boat.
Okay. Okay. He's back. Tuck's back. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about AEW Dynamite. There's just like a few talking points that I personally wanted to get into. And if you guys have anything that you want to talk about from Wednesday night, let me know. But I tweeted this out. I want to elaborate it here on the podcast because that's what we fucking do. On Dynamite, we saw Juice Robinson against Jon Moxley, Bandito against Jericho, which, I mean, these guys are very talented. I'm not saying that they're not. And they put on good matches, which they did here on Dynamite. But there's so much talent in AEW that is not being featured on television. You're telling me instead of trying to build a story with somebody that's under contract, that you keep bringing in guys from New Japan like Juice Robinson, who is part of the Bullet Club, which, let's be honest, the Bullet Club's kind of dead right now. Nobody really cares. And Bandito, fantastic wrestler on the independents, but why do I care about these matches that are happening on AEW Dynamite? I think they should be utilizing maybe a Kip Sabian, a Miro. There's other talent out there, the Dark Order, anybody from the Dark Order. There's so much people under contract, but instead every single week, Tony Khan gets praised on Twitter for bringing in Bandito and bringing in Juice Robinson and all these other names. But why should I care if there's no story? Am I alone here, or am I just being a bitch?
Juice Robinson, Mr. Tony Storm.
You may be alone if you're only looking at 1 week. And the reason I say that is a number of AEW talent were unable to make the show in Philadelphia given the hurricane. So there is that, but I don't think you have an invalid argument, because I do think that argument is longer than 1 week, right?
It's not just tonight. Yeah.
If it was a one night thing where it was like, you can't say this shit always happens, or like, this is a thing that has happened a number of times. You can't say that and then have the one thing come up, right? So when you look at it, I think it's a good argument. Like, you have a bloated roster and you're bringing in other people sometimes, and then there's not enough TV. So
do you think though that might be part of like Tony's thing? Like maybe he's got his thing with New Japan, so he's trying to keep, and I think it kind of like covers both of what you said, is that because of the hurricane, not everybody could show up, but then also I feel like that's kind of like Tony's thing, that it's like, you think of you count people out that are on the roster and then they come back a few weeks later. And I think maybe this is his way of like keeping AEW fresh, is that you don't know, you can have your roster of 50 people, but there's always going to be room for somebody like Juice Robinson or Bandito or Nick fucking Gage to show up. You know what I mean? I don't know.
They have Ethan Page on that roster. They have Scorpio Sky that's not on TV. I can go up and down the roster. I just don't 100%. Think that we need to have this every single week. It seems like he's bringing in somebody else.
Yep.
It's just too much. It's overkill. I don't care.
Didn't we count the roster and it was like 140 dudes or something like that?
Yes, it's a big roster.
Yeah, it was kind of bonkers. I'm gonna go through and count again, but holy moly.
And Vogus is right. He's saying he's catering to a specific audience that he has. And I'm not going to stop watching AEW because, like I said, there's still good matches that they're having. I just am not emotionally invested. And we've talked about it numerous times on this podcast. I need to be emotionally invested into a story for me to be, to want to watch these matches and think they're fantastic, because then they're just good wrestling and that's it.
Yeah. 105 men. But that's including talent like Regal and Mark Sterling as well. And
maybe he's just trying to broaden the casual viewers' horizons and introduce you to somebody, so that in WWE, when somebody like Candice LeRae comes out and everybody's like, who is she? We don't care. It's like equivalent to when like a Bandito comes out on Dynamite, but Tony Khan knows that Bandito deserves our respect, and he's going to show you why he deserves our respect, and for this, that, and the other thing. So I think it kind of all maybe goes hand in hand. I don't know.
I mean, trust me, I do get it, but at the same time, I just don't give a shit about whenever these people come in, because that was a world title qualifier match between Juice and Moxley. Juice is not winning that match. Juice is not defeating Moxley. Yeah. Bandito's not coming in and winning the ROH title. He's not under contract with ROH or AEW.
But I also think that might be just Tony like making ties and keeping ties. The ties to the New Japan, ties to the Ring of Honor. Like,
does he
bring your top guys in? Why not? If the relationships and the business partnerships are going to continue to go, like maybe so. Maybe so that when Ring of Honor does get a television deal, it will draw AEW fans to it, because like, oh yeah, I remember Bandito on that Jericho match. Like, yeah, let me check that out. I'm just trying here.
Yeah, no, you're playing devil's advocate. I appreciate it.
Well, I do best.
I do see that tie, but I'm still not going to give a fuck whenever some random ass person comes in, unless it's Okada or Will Ospreay. Then I'll care. Will Ospreay was actually good when he was in AEW, and I wanted to see more of him. So that was the only exception. Elias asked, Kyle, I heard you're the OTM champ. I am not.
And even if he was, we do not acknowledge that.
He would, but Robbie Collins, OTM champ, right, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the OTM. He's defending it in Philly.
One day it will be me, Elias.
Have you ever won?
No, not here.
That's tough, because Tuck, you've won a few, haven't you?
Let's not act like I'm a chump. Yes, I've won.
I said
You've won a few, haven't you? Like, you just
even Tuck's gotten one. What an idiot you are! You can't even get one.
Even your
dumbass Tuck got one. Come on.
Sorry,
even West Coast trash Tuck got some. Come on.
Get a load of this guy.
West Coast trash. That's my wrestling.
Not my words, bud. Not my words. Take it up with this guy.
I didn't say anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
I will play the tape. Play the tape back.
Okay, I will.
Tone,
Ryan
sometimes
Matthews.
the way we say things matters too.
Exactly. I can read between the lines. Tuck, I got your back.
Did you guys see MJF's new T-shirt? I don't think anyone could wear that in public. Yeah, doesn't it?
And what does say, devil worshiper?
I'm a devil worshiper, and the word devil
wear
is
that
in
to class.
Yeah, the word devil is in his Burberry print, but that
Tuck, wear that on Come Tuesday.
There you go, Erica.
Nope. No, not gonna do that. You can really only wear that to like an AEW show, right?
Yeah, or like your buddy's house.
Even then, they would look at you like, "What the fuck are you wearing, devil worship?"
I hope it says something like very like grand on the back, like this is a wrestling shirt. Like
they're
on the back, it just says that.
Yeah,
I'm not getting the Scissor Me Daddy ass shirt either.
I want that just for to have.
Like a show
I
shirt.
asked for it for Christmas. I won't get it,
but I can't wear that at Walmart.
No,
I can't be comfortable
because the Christians are already freaking out on Twitter.
Oh, who cares?
So,
who cares?
In public,
who cares? Mike, that you said this is a wrestling shirt they should put on the back. That should be one of our shirts. It just says this is a wrestling
shirt.
Wear it to your wrestling events. There you go. Shirt. Like, what are you wearing? This is a wrestling shirt.
This is my wrestling shirt. This is my live event shirt.
We could just do those dumb T-shirts. They might sell. You never know.
Or like if you go to an independent show and you don't really have anyone's merch that's on the card, but you just have a shirt that says pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And they're like,
pro wrestling is cool. I mean,
pro wrestling rules.
Yeah, just something simple. I think people would wear it. Let us know. Sound off in the comments. One last thing I want to talk about from AEW.
All right, I got some thoughts on this.
Yeah, I'm going to set the table though for you. It's Saraya on Dynamite. I did enjoy how she was like the hype woman for the women's division. That's what it felt like, at least to me. But it does seem that she might not be hopping right into wrestling. And I wanted to pose this question to you and Erica. Oh, could be.
Yes.
Don't know.
Just asking.
My notes.
I did want to ask this question to you guys, and Erica's prepared. Do you feel like the investment with Saraya is worth it if she's only wrestling part-time?
Is she? I'm genuinely asking. Is she wrestling?
Fightful shared a bit on her contract. She agreed to a 3-year deal with the company for a good amount of money. So she is expected to wrestle, but occasionally, and it'll be more of a special attraction kind of thing.
Because I saw her, which I didn't click or try to search for what she was referring to, but I did see her tweet about, don't listen to the dirt sheets. See you Wednesday on Dynamite. So I assumed that they were saying something, and all I could think was that, they were probably saying that maybe she might not be in ring and more like enhancement or managerial.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say I'm gonna go off.
Let's do it. I did. Now it's your turn.
Her whole segment, didn't care for the whole thing. I changed the channel.
Ooh.
I let her call out the women before it came out. I understand that we're setting up for like a 4-on-4 type thing, but to me, it felt cheap and whatever. Then she tweets about how the women, at least they got more than 5 minutes of wrestling, as if the company you're referring to isn't the same company that was not giving any women airtime. So you're acting as if it was WWE that wasn't giving women time. Now you're in AEW and they're all about the women. It's not the insult that you thought it was. Then she goes on Twitter and says I'm sorry. Then when she's in the ring, at least now I have a boss that listens to me. That was Irish or whatever the fuck. Sorry if that was insulting.
It was. I'm offended.
She debuted. She was the first NXT Women's Champion. She dethroned AJ Lee. She was SmackDown general manager when she couldn't do shit. How are you acting like WWE did not cater to you? Also, the reason I feel like a lot of us were so blindsided was because she was so WWE heavy. I felt that they treated her very well. They could have fucking sent her to kick rocks after that whole tape debacle, and they really didn't. You know what I mean? She kind of just got a slap on the wrist, if anything. Things could have happened, and she's just now trying to be, in my eyes, part of the fuck
victim.
WWE people. Yes. And I'm just I'm so over her. I don't even want to go to a live show because I'll go to the bathroom even if I don't have to pee when you come out, Saraya.
Well, I do have a rebuttal for you. I did see there was a clip of her Twitch streaming. She was sort of blindsided by the release, and it sort of came out of nowhere. So that didn't sit well with her after all that she did for the company. And I do agree with your points. I mean, you also forgot about WWE backstage when she couldn't wrestle. They gave her a spot on that.
They did everything for her. She was on Total Divas. She was partly on Total Bellas. And maybe that's not what you wanted to do, but they were giving you opportunities. You couldn't be in ring, and they kept you around anyway because they gave a shit. And not for nothing, but you know what, Tony Khan? Good luck with her and her fucking loser-ass boyfriend. The two of them seem more problematic than anything, and she leans into all of it, as does he. So, the two of them can get fucked. They don't give a shit, and good luck. See how long this lasts.
Erica's got a thing about going after the ladies. It was Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara.
Well, I don't appreciate Ty Conti.
And now it's Saraya.
If Saraya came out and was just hey guys, happy to be here. Da-da-da-da-da. I'd be I was she looks great. I'm so happy she's here. And then she hit that last week, and I was no.
Bogus. That will be the joke. If there isn't a Come Tuesday joke during the Saraya part, then boo. Yeah, we all know what he's referring to.
If there's a belt that says Come Tuesday on it, then sure.
We can create that. We could. Tuck, what was your whole take on Saraya's Dynamite debut? We obviously saw her show up at Grand Slam, and here she is on commentary and had that little bit of a promo segment.
She's talking a lot. I just think Erica made a lot of good points where she's acting like the AEW women's division has been put on a pedestal and treated very well. They have 4 men to every 1 woman on the roster. Like, they're way more concerned. They have 28 females on the roster compared to over 100 men. So it's not quite 4-1, but I'm interested. And if she's just going to wrestle part-time, that's a lot of smoke to not be doing the Britt Baker kind of like weekly steady grind. You know?
What did Elias have to say?
He said, I throw tomatoes at my TV when Soraya's on. Elias, I'm sorry you had to hear me say all that.
And then she has to grumpy clean them up after too. So she doesn't like Soraya, throws tomatoes at the TV, and now she's got to clean up the tomatoes.
Oh, I'm her. Soraya. I was excited for her last week. Now she comes back, she's acting like a dickhead. Yeah. It is. I'm hurt.
There is.
That's a segment of the week. Erica's tomatoes. So who made Erica throw tomatoes at the TV? The most frustrating one to you.
And I will go off, and my stress.
Soraya has earned her tomatows. You know, so Soraya earned her tomatoes this week.
That's it.
That could be something. I like that.
Yeah,
well, we could do that. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with both of you. I am looking forward to her involvement with AEW. I would like to see her wrestle a little bit more than just like the special occasion, because I feel like if she's not wrestling, they're going to just put her on commentary, and we don't need more people on commentary. There's already so many people on AEW that just show up. Or is she going
to have like a stable where she manages?
Which I would be here for that. I mean, she needs to do something. You're not paying her all that money because they said it's good money. We don't know the specifics. 3-year deal to just sit in the back. Like, she's going to be on TV, and she's a big name and a trailblazer. So they're going to have to utilize her. I just was hoping it was going to be more as just the wrestler version. But I guess with the neck history and everything, it's probably a tough spot for them, no?
Didn't somebody say that, like, I feel like it was bogus. Maybe I had a dream. I was bogus last week that when I said I was surprised that she signed with AEW, and he said WWE probably wouldn't clear her medically because they care about you. And you're just shitting on them.
Wasn't it a similar thing to Danielson? Because
but then I also feel like his reason, like, he wanted blood, he wanted matches, he's got 2 babies, and probably sees himself as on the way out. So like that, I feel is different. Like Paige, I just feel is just like.
I think she burned the bridge too. If whenever these 3 years are up, if she's still working in ring, I hope she doesn't further injure herself. I don't wish injury on anyone.
No, not for a neck injury.
I hope that all goes well. But her contract expires in 3 years. These comments aren't gonna, help you get back with the WWE.
Now that I have a boss that listens to me.
Look at Braun Strowman, Karrion Kross. They said nothing bad about the WWE when they got released. Well, they are back on TV,
and she's blowing smoke with the Triple H regime already have taken over too. Like, this stuff would have still stood up if Vince was like in charge of WWE, some of those things, but Triple H is in charge now, and she's still choosing to throw shots at people that aren't running the show. And I think that's an interesting decision, because if it was months before Triple H took over and she said those things, and then Triple H took over, there's the ability to turn the new page. But right now, I don't know if Triple H is interested, because although it wasn't about him, it's still about the company he's in charge of now.
And you see the positive changes in that company, and the people that are going back to it, and the friends that you have there that are happy now or have been happy. And I don't know. I just feel like.
I saw that tweet too, Ryan. Ryan Matthews is saying AEW
just loves
WWE backstage hosts. Every single WWE backstage host.
Joe, Renee,
Mark Henry,
Paige, Mark Henry. Yeah.
It's wild. And now CM Punk might not ever wrestle again, because there's rumors that AEW is not even interested in bringing him back. Anything else from AEW you guys wanted to talk about, or were we good here?
I'm all set, Captain.
Love Wheeler Yuta and MJF. No, that's all I have.
He can't hang with MJF. Get out of here.
How do you figure, Kyle? Read a book.
He got worked in that promo 2 weeks ago.
And so was this? Is this all elite promos or all elite wrestling?
Well, promos are kind of like a big part of wrestling, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's wrestling talk?
Sports entertainment.
I'm talking wrestling.
There are sports,
and they have a lot of they have a lot of history, and that's just like something else that like I appreciate about it, is that like even if this is short lived and it's just a little like something, like there's the people that like know like beyond wrestling. Like I don't know. I'm just happy for it. And I love that Wheeler was like in his hometown and the crowd just like ate him up and like beat the piss out of MJF, and MJF like was like total chicken shit about it. It just was fun.
I like the get up that the Jericho Appreciation Society had on. I want one of those purple suits. And
Do you
I want
the
pizza.
bucket hat?
And I want pizza.
You get no pizza.
I mean, other than the Daniel Garcia story, is there any other good story going on in AEW right now? Exactly.
No.
That's my issue with AEW right now. It's like I'm not invested in. Granted, there's injuries and there's the suspensions with the Elite and the CM Punk fiasco. So they've had a lot of thrown at them here, but still, it's.
I feel like it might be 3 years in, but maybe they're trying to like figure it all out.
I think we're kind of past that point. They had it kind of figured out for like a year. There was.
But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, if they're going to last 100 years, being 3 years in is still like super baby.
Oh, 100%. I would agree. Yeah.
It's a growing pain.
Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. But you got anything else?
No.
I have a fun game I would like to play.
Yeah.
What's that?
We're gonna play guess the number. I've got a number of emails from WrestleTix about ticket counts for shows right now. So I would like to reward the person closest to the sold amount of tickets without going over. Price is Right. So closest to the number of people that are going without going over. The first one, we'll do a couple. The first one is October 1st, Saturday night main event in Bismarck, North Dakota. Closest to without going over. Sound off in the chat.
4,200.
16,300. Focus.
What do you
Not
say?
quite. Erica, what's your number?
1.
Oh,
One.
that's a good
Erica,
play.
Erica,
Yeah.
you are the winner. They were
Thank you.
right now they're 2,500 heading to the Saturday night main event house show in Bismarck, North Dakota.
I mean, for North Dakota, that's solid.
So Erica's up 1-0. Well, let's talk about the Sunday Stunner in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Yes. Sunday, October 2nd. So this weekend, nice. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, house show, Sunday Stunner.
2,139.
2139.
3,700.
Ooh, 3,097. Erica with a point. Can't she make it a clean sweep?
She can't.
We'll find
Last
out.
one. Friday, November 4th, Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey, AEW Rampage. It's November 2nd. Okay, so it's over a month away. The last time they were here, 5,785 tickets were sold.
3,701.
First.
No,
3,701. 3,702.
What a
They currently
fucker.
have 700 tickets sold to that.
I win again.
No, it's closest to without going over. Neither of you got the point there.
Oh, damn
Closest
it.
to without going over.
Yeah, we
779. You guys were both.
Yeah,
on,
I was
so
not getting that. I
you
should've
still
done
won
that.
2-0.
Yes, congratulations.
Fair
Now we know
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
we got a little update on some house shows, some shows
Can I
coming
play
up.
Plinko now?
Yep,
That
that'd
game
be fun.
rules.
Dean
Love
Malenko.
Ryan Matthews.
What do you say?
You son of a bitch.
Erica won something. Mark your calendars, guys. I mean, he makes a good point.
I
it
don't like to agree.
Sounds like he's not going to be getting the LVM. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I've been trying to get some feedback because it is that time of the show where we award the most valuable mark, and it definitely will not be Steve from the SCW Wrestling Channel. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it this evening, so there will be a new MVM, and we had a few people in the chat. Ryan Matthews, Ryan Bogus. The Ryans were definitely out. So the ruling is in our private chat that. Wait, what do you got?
Two of us have voted, and we've each voted for Orion. So Erica has to settle it this week.
Oh,
She
you
has.
think I could?
She has to
Kyle,
pick.
you think I could?
It's down between.
I do
two
not want
Ryan.
either Ryan to win it.
I think we've had a number of great commenters, but from first pitch to last pitch, I think both Ryans have given valiant efforts, and they each have one vote. Erica, you have to determine this week's MVM.
They each talked crap to me. The title is vacant. Steve, and still.
Okay. Hey, she was the deciding vote, so no, you're vacating the title. It's not an and still.
He gave the title.
He
said
made
I'll
that
be
comment.
back to defend it. He
And
vacated the title.
No one is the MVM on episode.
I think they would go for that.
No, I'm here for it. Hey, that's what happens. Me and Chuck had a vote, and Erica.
I think it's only fitting. I think it's a Steve, Ryan triple threat. We've got Extreme Rules coming up. Many different stipulations.
You know what? Erica's overruled. I'm agreeing with Ryan Vogus. And new MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, Ryan Gagliardi.
Okay.
There it is.
We had to pick a Ryan.
To Ryan Gagliardi's point, we do have to give him credit because he doesn't have the resources available to him to get to the show week in and week out. And we know he's an athlete. We know he has activities. We know he works hard too. So for him to make the time for us, for the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast on a Thursday night, he doesn't have all that time. I think Ryan Gagliardi, wow, that's a lot of fun. And you're going to have to give me your address, your old address, so we can get him a decal in the mail.
He has a WWE lunchbox, so he can put it on his lunchbox. Look at that.
Send him a couple.
Yeah, he always has.
Now that you just said he's like gung-ho on the current. Yes, yeah. So even more so.
Yeah, I went over there the other day, and he was talking to me about Bailey and EO, and I was like, "Oh, what we got? Ryan's in." So shout out to my brother for the first time. Good idea from Ryan Vogus.
And to Vogus.
Shout out to Ryan Vogus for the idea. Since we couldn't decide between Ryan, we're going to give it to Ryan Gagliardi. Tuck, I saw the White Rabbit show up multiple times here. Do we know what's going on with our system right now?
No, I think it's a StreamYard thing. Generally, we have a duck in the corner for that StreamYard logo, but it looks like a bunny's in the corner over there too. So I think we are being hopped on by the White Rabbit. It's intriguing. I mean, we're a day away from another SmackDown.
What just happened? Where'd Erica go?
Where am I?
Oh, she's back.
You're back. Oh,
wow.
Got worried there.
Wow. This is not a work.
No, it's not.
No. I'm freaked out.
You want to go on with what you were saying, Tuck, or you good?
I don't remember what I was saying.
Me either. I freaked you out by removing her from the stream. So, Erica, any final remarks? Yeah, that's all I got. I'm not going to be here next week.
I think for once, we've always said it's what a time to be a wrestling fan. Great time to be a wrestling fan. I think I'm going to say what a time to be a WWE fan. I think they kind of got the upper hand nowadays in our curiosity and our interest. And I'm really excited for Extreme Rules. I'm excited to see how all of this plays out between the White Rabbit and the Bloodline and Sami Zayn. So I'm happy. And that's it.
I agree, Tuck. So I think that's all we got for him. Why don't you send us home?
Hey, next week we'll be doing the Extreme Rules predictions show, and we've got the form getting built. We'll have that ready for the fans, viewers, members of the OTM community to fill out in pursuit of the OTM PLE champion. We're going to try to snag that away from Robbie Collins and bring it back to the United States of America. He's holding it hostage overseas as he defended the castle in Wales at Clash at the Castle. So it's going to be a great show. We're gonna miss Gags next week, but we're gonna hold down the fort and make sure you guys are ready with your picks to sound off in the chats with us. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications as well. We're on TikTok and Facebook on the Mark Wrestling Podcast. You already know what it is, Gags.
Yeah. Last thing I was going to say, since I won't be here next week, we are going to run a promo code on the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com, 15% off using promo code EXTREME for the Extreme Rules PLE. So go ahead and get your merch next weekend because that's when we're going to start it. So keep your eye out for that. But that's all I got for him, Tucky.
I think for next show, we do something extreme for the predictions.
Ooh, I'm listening.
I think the next show, whoever wins, even if it's one of you, whoever wins will get to pick either a Rhea Ripley elite figure or an Edge elite figure, and we'll ship it to them. Unless it's Robbie Collins in the UK, because fuck off.
Or Steve. Steve would probably be a part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'll send him an eBay credit or something. But I think that'll be fun, right? And kind of relevant, right? Edge is relevant right now. Rhea Ripley.
Judgment Day.
So either one of those, something like that. I feel like I can part with one of those. That'll be fun.
A little package of sorts, because I bet I have some
an extreme package.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling
Podcast.